Make sure you pick up my 2 books that's in Amazon right now. The first one is Passive-Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy. And I talk about in that particular book how the system of white supremacy really runs and on our daily lives here in America. In our latest book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we go through those steps to try to deprogram you from the system of white supremacy. Make sure you can pick up those books on Amazon.com.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm so pleased to be with you here on African Diaspora News Channel. We're so appreciative that you've joined us today, beloved. Just want to encourage you to be sure to share the broadcast. Feel free to engage. Give us a big thumbs up. We ask that you do this because this helps to generate notifications so that more folks will know that we're here, and that is so very key and important to the work that we do here as an alternative media apparatus. Yes. And for that, we say thank you so very much. I'm so excited to be with you live and direct, no matter when you're watching this, beloved. Be sure to share. And of course, want you to enjoy the broadcast. Family, of course, you all know that we have been doing an extraordinary amount of coverage concerning the elections. Of course, this has been an entire year of elections, literally around the world. We've seen absolutely major changes, obviously, throughout the continent of Africa, and all, frankly, 7 continents and many of the nations therein. Yes. So the United States is certainly no different. This is very, very important, beloved, because this is a time where those of us who are the true founding fathers and mothers of this country, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, Native Black Americans, we're rising up to understand our power, and we are pushing back on the powers that be to force them to do more for us. We have understood, particularly in the past 60 some odd years, that we have given our vote overwhelmingly to the Democrat Party and have very, very little of substance to show for it. Are y'all hearing me today? So now that we're saying, no, we're going to hold you accountable, there's going to be some consequences for you using our vote to help legal and illegal immigrants, spending hundreds of billions of dollars for wars around the world. Yes, we're saying, yeah, this time you're going to do something for us. We're going to make sure that you understand where we stand on this. Well, I want to give you a little bit of insight, even under the first Black president, Barack Hussein Obama. Yes, certainly you all remember the excitement and the fanfare of Barack Obama coming to rise and everybody wanting us to vote for him. And I've got to be honest with you, I didn't. I understood early on, and it was because of spiritual insight that I had to understand that that he would just simply be a face for this white supremacist nation. Yes. So I was not fooled at all about that. Now, how many of you all remember that once Obama got in office, before he got in office, remember, he was still running against Hillary Clinton. He was running against Joe Biden. Some of you may not remember that. It was a host of other Democrats that was vying for the Democrat presidential nomination. Yes. Well, Obama obviously ultimately won. Now, you all know I'm fair. Trump ain't no savior. Trump is equally adversarial to the interest, the overall interest of foundational Black Americans, in my opinion. I'm talking about in a substantive way. But again, the reason I'm emphasizing the Democrats is because the overwhelming number of Black folks in America don't give our vote to them. If you're giving your vote You're giving power to the party that promises or pretends to do something about your condition and plight, and they don't. That's the one that you're going to be giving a lot of work to. That's the one that you're going to hold accountable, because they're that wolf in sheep's clothing. Yes? Well, watch this. When Obama, before he was in office, when he was on stage debating Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and some of the others, because before the official presidential candidate is determined in the United States, both major parties, of course, there are other parties, but the ones that tend to get, the most visibility and the most vote is still the Republicans and the Democrats, right? Well, when they were still vying for who would be the Democrat presidential nominee, when they were on the debate stage, the question was asked about reparations, and it was only a white man by the name of Dennis Kucinich who believed that reparations were due. Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton made it very clear, no reparations. So Obama felt this way before he was in office, and most of our people here were still screaming and hollering to put him in office. Not I, not me. And before he ascended to the presidency, what else did he do? He disrespected the very man who baptized his children and married him and Michelle Obama, Reverend Jeremiah Wright, threw him under the bus, dogged him. And then he also distanced himself and denounced the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan after Hillary Clinton made him repeatedly denounce some of his spiritual influences over and over and over again on the debate stage. How many of y'all remember that? You might not. That's my job, to remind you and to help to connect the dots. I want to say this parenthetically before I get ready to show you this clip. This is a profound clip. Very, very important information I'm sharing with you, because I want to give you context to how the Democrat Party, watch this, have strategically and intentionally worked against their most faithful voting bloc, Black Americans. It was a strategy. And I'm getting ready to prove it in no limit of time, not just with internal documents, which would be wonderful, but with the actual testimony of a Obama insider who was not only on his campaign, but actually worked in the White House, not just for Barack Obama, but also Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and for the Democrat Party in general. Y'all ready for this? Before I get ready to play this first clip, I want to also say this, and this is a side note. You know how everybody keeps talking about the fact that Trump, when he won the presidency last time, he made it a real big deal to make it an issue that Barack Obama is from Kenya and that he's not really an American because he was born in Hawaii. Now, we know that Hawaii is, a non-contiguous part of the United States. So the culture really is differently, even though technically, geographically, it is the United States of America, similar to us, Alaska, right? It's not a part of the contiguous part of the United States, but it is America. Watch this. Folks like to keep talking about the fact that he's Kenyan and that he's not really American the issue. Do you all know who started that rumor? And I give Trump that everlasting work. You're not fixing to find me not telling the truth about both sides. I'm going to say it again. Guess who started that rumor during the election that Barack Obama was a foreigner and was not really American? Hillary Clinton's camp. Let me get my gavel on that. For those of you that don't know, the Vicki Show is a home of the hand claps and the gavel raps. That means sometimes I clap my hands and sometimes I hit the gavel. I use the gavel because I want you to know that the gavel is not just for your lawmakers and world leaders and policymakers or judges. I want you to know that your word matters. I'm going to say it again. Some of you, that's my job, to keep you in the loop about American politics. It's my job to remind you of what you may have forgotten about or not have known. It was Hillary Clinton, in desperation to win the presidential nomination for the Democrats. This little Kenyan, Kansas man who come from a rich white mama and whose father he really didn't have no connection to like that. He was making too many gains in different states. So it was Hillary Clinton's camp that seeded that, and Trump just ran with it. Actually, I see a comment here from Mac that said it was Hillary Clinton. I remember. Thank you so much for saying that, beloved. So when you give Trump that work, make sure you give credit to where credit is due. Somebody say, thank Hillary Clinton for giving Trump the idea. This is why I keep telling you they're equally racist. Now, enough of that. Where are we going with this? Explosive information. How many of you all remember Brother Tavis Smiley? For those of you that don't know, sometime back, Tavis Smiley, he was a major Black political journalist. He really was considered to be legendary, and really he was accepted in a lot of mainstream circles. But Tavis Smiley did, to be honest, have a habit of also creating a platform for even voices that mainstream media didn't embrace. Now, I'm not, before they, kind of Me Too'd him. They said there was some allegations against him with some women and stuff. And after that, his career was over in the way it used to be. And some of us speculate that it happened because he openly criticized Barack Obama while Obama was in the White House. So I got to give him credit for that. When Obama was in the White House, it was absolutely unacceptable for, number one, somebody Black to criticize you publicly and relentlessly like he was doing with Dr. Cornel West. But for a man like Tavis Smiley that has access to alternative contrary voices and mainstream media, oh, that was an absolute no-no. So Tavis Smiley ended up being Me Too'd and lost his little, the glory that he was used to being in. Watch this. Well, Mr. Tavis Smiley, my understanding, I think he bought a little radio station somewhere. He's not on the scene like he used to be. So, he's not on the, but I still happen to come across a radio broadcast he did. Guess what? I want to play you right now the first clip. Before we play you the clip, he is speaking to a White House insider by the name of Miss Ashley Danielle Etienne, Etienne. She's a political advisor, and she served, y'all listen, as the communication director for not only Vice President Kamala Harris, but she's a former director and senior advisor to Nancy Pelosi. Watch this. The first quote unquote woman of color, that's the technical term they use, the first woman of color, Black woman, to hold the position of communications director for the House Speaker. And she was a high-level advisor to Barack Obama. Somebody say this ain't nobody. Family. Because as I told you before, Tavis Smiley had access to high-level folks back in the day. Well, she graced his new radio broadcast recently. And I want you to watch this first clip of some explosive information she shares. Y'all get ready to watch this.
Died, right? A visit to the family, a call to the family. I mean, doing more at each one of these points. And we just got, ran into a brick wall. And it was primarily because of the people he had surrounded himself. But the sense of
Okay, family. Okay, did y'all hear that? Did you all hear that? Did you all hear her say how they were told to treat him as if he had ascended race? She was instructed when she reached out to legendary hip hop artists. Some of you may not know Nas. Nas is a legend. He was doing a lot of conscious music and stuff, and had written a song related to having a Black president. And she was told to make it clear to him not to play that about no Black president. He was above race. She said that was the message that was clearly sent to them as a White House official. She said that she was begging them during the Michael Brown situation. What was that about? How many of you all know that Black folks in the United States, we were being gunned down and deleted on camera? The numbers increased under Obama. You know why? Because racist white folks was mad that a Black man was in office, and we bore the brunt of the backlash. So you all know they already take us out. They already mistreat us. They already dog us. They already gerrymander us. They already play political games with us. They already give us the worst jobs. They already reject us with the loans and economics. They already refuse to give us reparations. Talk black to me, somebody. They already play with us. They've already been taking us out. They've already been giving us unjust sentences. But to add insult to injury, they expedited and they made even more bold on camera the genocide of black folks domestically in the United States. Once Obama ascended into office, that was the backlash for him becoming president. Michael Brown was one of the young men, unfortunately, that was gunned down like a dog under Obama. Did you hear her refer to him? And she said she was begging his folks in the White House, the Obama White House, to please put more attention on him. She begged them to at least meet with his family. Y'all, this is explosive. And I'm going to give you two more reasons in just a minute. When we look at policies, why policies weren't pushed for us, I want you to watch this again. I want you to watch this clip again. Watch this. Listen again.
Died, right? A visit to the family, a call to the family. I mean, doing more at each one of these points. And we just got, ran into a brick wall. And it was primarily because of the people he had surrounded himself. But the sentiment there was, we're above that. And so any concerns of the community, we're above even addressing in a lot of ways. And so that was really hurtful as, a person who's black first and a woman second and a Democrat way down the line. But so I'm glad you actually put all of that stuff together, because it really is important as we talk about what kind of a leader we want. Now, if we transition to the vice president,
hold that.
Wow. I really want you to listen to what this insider said. He had ascended race, not just a black man, and therefore could distance himself from the black community. Watch this. And she was told to make sure that when they connected with Nas, a legendary hip hop artist who had written a song about being proud of having a black man in office. So when you guys sit here and try to wag your finger in black men's face, don't you ever forget that an insider lets us know that Barack Obama did not want a black man who was proud to have a black man in office play the song. He wanted to distance himself from blackness because he had ascended. This was a part of the spoken policy of the White House. Listen. And she said, while black folks were being gunned down on camera by governmental officials that take an oath to protect and to serve us, but instead commit genocide against us domestically. Watch this. She said she was begging her boss, his team, please put more attention on it. She said she was asking him to please at least meet with the family. What manner of man? See, do you all understand? So when you all just want us to blow for somebody that claimed to be black, and you are the manager of an anti-black white policy and system, what we look like jumping on board for that mess? Some of you don't know this history. And it's not an accident. And it wasn't because they couldn't do nothing about it. The insider let us know this was intentional. Not only that, I want you to get ready to watch a little bit more of what she said. Now, to be honest, I give her credit. She did quite a lengthy interview. And to be honest, the stuff that she said on there, Tavis Smiley was even tripping because he had to go back and say, wait, look, I didn't even ask you to come on the broadcast to say all that. He said he was showing respect to her because she still got connections to Kamala and them. He said, I never would have even asked you to say nothing like that. He said, what I said about them was me. She was happy to reveal it. And I'm going to let you all know something. I think she wanted to, even though she's still trying to play that game by still being directly connected to Kamala's campaign and all that. She was still giving Kamala a little bit of credit and stuff. At the same time, she's still throwing something out there because she wants us to know what was really going on. And for that, I do give her a little bit of credit. I do give her a little credit for that. Now I want you to get ready, family, to watch this second short clip of a little bit more insight that she gives us. Listen to this.
Really because of the people he had surrounded himself. But the sentiment there was, we're above that. And so any concerns of the community, we're above even addressing in a lot of ways. And so that was really hurtful as, you know, a person who's Black first and a woman second and a Democrat way down the line. But so I'm glad you actually put all of that stuff together, because it really is important as we talk about what kind of a leader we want. Now, if we transition to the vice president.
Hold that.
Wow, 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 wow. Did you all hear that? Let me tell y'all something. I'm a spiritual. I have my spiritual course. Some of you all that watch some of my broadcasts, by the way, go back through the videos that's on the platform here that I've done. Be sure to listen to everything we talk about. Family, we need you to tune in, not just my content. I want you to, of course, make sure that you're obviously supporting our founder here, Brother Phil Scott. Big shout out to him. Of course, you all know that he's live in the evenings. I want to say, was it 8 p.m. Eastern? 7 p.m. CST time on most days of the week. Make sure you support his lives that he does. Make sure you support my other beautiful colleagues here in the United States and those literally that are giving us content and commentary from around the world, especially from the continent of Africa. Listen to what we say. You don't know what you might be missing, and share it with others, family. This helps to strengthen our alternative voices. Those folks are not speaking for you. The second clip that we just played, I want you to understand. We're not making up what we're talking about. They're behind the scenes in hush-hush, secret little councils, plotting about how they can use us without having to do anything substantive for us. She says in the second clip that Barack Obama, his team, that made it very clear to them that Obama was above race, above being a Black man. He had ascended race, ascended Blackness. Did you hear her say they're now working with Kamala? Let me get the gavel. Y'all are missing this. So when we came out and told y'all she's not accepting her Blackness, she don't even want to admit she Black, and y'all come out, well, her daddy got some Black, he got some, you missing it. We know what we talking about. The White House strategist, this political advisor, who worked for who? Nancy Pelosi. Communications director, was the first Black woman to ever ascend to that position as speaker, communications director for the Speaker of the House. Worked for Kamala and Obama in the White House and on the campaigns. So she knew the strategy when they were planning to get in the White House, and she knew the exact strategy while in the White House. You can't tell me nothing. And to be honest with you, I hope Black media takes this clip and run with it. I hope y'all tag the Democrats. I hope you tag your legislators. I hope y'all put this out there, replay this clip this up. Let everybody know they heard Sister Vicki talking on African Diaspora News Channel and releasing this information. We know what we're talking about. I was mentioning a few minutes ago that I teach spiritual school. You can go to my website at vickiplanet.com, talking about the powers that shouldn't be. Listen, one of the things I know is that there is a government you can see with your eyes, like the U.S. government, like the so-called global North, like the United States and her Western allies. That's opposite of the so-called global South, or really the best term is for the global South is really the global majority. The darker peoples of the world. Let me tell you something. It's important that you understand that when we tell you that stuff is going on, nefarious things are going on, they're working against us, they're playing politics, they are intentionally keeping us down. We know what we're talking about. And it's not by accident, is what I'm trying to get you to understand, that the divine is urging some of those that worked in these governmental high-level positions to come out and leak the information. I teach in my school that there's a government you can see, and then there's an unseen government, a spiritual government. And that government is working with us in this government and helping to cause stuff to come out that you otherwise would not have known. That's confirming and backing those of us that are giving you the real. Did y'all hear what I said right there? She said that those people in the White House, those strategists, the people that helped him get elected, those that worked in the White House, the very ones now that are on Kamala's campaign and that's trying to help her get elected. Watch this. He said they're now with her. Do y'all understand what that means? They intentionally employ a strategy to screw over black people, use our blackness without having to actually claim blackness because they've ascended that. Guess what else she said in that clip? And I wonder if it's possible if we can replay that last clip. If we can replay that last clip, if we can do that. Watch this. I want you to hear something that she said about the fact that that means that if he's ascended race, she said if that means he's ascended being a black man, she said that means he don't have to address any concerns in the black community. I didn't say it. The Washington, D.C. insider said it. Can we replay that clip?
We're above.
Give us a minute to play that, fam. I want y'all to listen real
in
close.
a lot of ways. And so that was really hurtful as, a person who's black first and a woman second and a Democrat way down the line. But so I'm glad you actually put all of that stuff together because it really is important as we talk about what kind of a leader we want. Now, if we transition to the vice president, a person who's black first and a woman second and a Democrat way down the line. But so I'm glad you actually put all of that stuff together because it really is important as we talk about what kind of a leader we want. Now, if we transition to the vice president,
hold that.
Family, this is deep. Y'all, look, shout out to African Diaspora News channel. Everybody ain't talking about this. Now, I know maybe it'll be a couple people out there that's talking about it, obviously, because this is a public radio broadcast. So I know some people are talking about it. But family, I need you all to understand with names and receipts. Did you hear her say how this was hurtful for her? She said, she made it clear. She said she a Democrat last. She said she a black woman first. She said that was very hurtful for her. Did y'all hear that? And she said that because he had ascended blackness, because he had ascended race, that means that he did not have to address the concerns of those of us in the black community. And she also talked about that the folks that was around him, which he chose, had everything to do with the way they moved. You all got to understand the game, and you can't tell us that we're not putting you on to it. We're giving you insight and information that the average person is not giving you, and baby, we're not making it up here. I keep emphasizing, some of y'all are probably like, well, Vicki, why do you keep playing? Because I want you to hear it again and again and again and again. But I want you to understand also, watch this, is the fact that she didn't have to say this like Tavis Smiley said. Tavis Smiley said in his opening monologue that he did for this, he's the one that said what he said, being honest about it. He was showing respect to her because I told you in times past, he had access to the highest levels of government and media. So he told her, if you watch the actual whole radio broadcast he did, he told her, he said, look, I didn't even expect you to, look, y'all, Tavis was live saying, look, I didn't even expect you to snitch and tell all this now. I'm emphasizing that because it was another divine energy that prompted her, that moved her to put out that little bit of information. Now, she looked crazy when she was out there saying that Kamala is doing a great job. Of course, she gonna say that because don't forget, she worked not only for Obama, not only the Obama campaign, not only did she's the first a black woman to become the Speaker of the House Communication Director, but don't forget, she worked for Kamala as her community. So she looked real crazy now if she worked in Kamala Harris's office as her communications person, and she turned around now and come out and tell us how horrible she doing. We know Kamala is doing horrible. How many of y'all see my latest video? Because I've been hearing from some of y'all. Y'all something else, team. I did it on my platform recently when I was talking about Kamala the other day at a church, talking about she sang in a Church of God children's choir. And then she started talking crazy and was doing the word salad in the church. How many of y'all saw that? If you didn't, go back and look at y'all, look, if y'all didn't, go back and look at that. That's insightful. I want you to understand, it's not that technological issues happened when Kamala's teleprompter went down that time that she was in Michigan. And it's not just that she keeps talking over herself, sounding crazy and looking crazy. She did an interview recently on Fox News with Brett Baer, I think is his name. Brett, somebody said I roasted her, child. Yeah, I did what I did. Who said that? Blue Exodus said roasted, okay? Yeah, I kind of, sort of. She roasted herself. I didn't really roast her. Like, we don't have to try hard. We don't need to be comedians. All we need to do is play what she said and just repeat it. And when you hear us repeat it, it's like, that don't make no sense. I know I'm from the South. I know I can say proper English. That doesn't make any sense. No, that don't make no sense. So some of those, you think that you're so professorial, so you're such erudites out there. You're so sagacious and intelligent. No, baby, I know how to do it all. The government didn't come after me because Vicki Dillard is stupid. I wasn't able to ex parte deal with the powers that shouldn't be because I'm an idiot. There's a level of energy that comes on words when we say words a certain type of way. That's why the powers that be don't care for me. That's why your current press secretary still has me blocked on a couple of social media platforms. That's the reason why some of your celebrities are upset with me. That's the reason why MSNBC and CNN folks literally reached out to me mad about something I said. That's why a former The View co-host, John McCain's daughter, when she was on The View, she blocked me because I defended Tamika Mallory so well that it offended her. What they worried about little old Vicki for? What are they worried about little Vicki for? Let me help some of y'all, because see, some of y'all watch me in the UK, and I know that really get under some of y'all's skin. But you don't understand how power really works and effectiveness. Ain't nobody stunting you with your proper self. When you speak a particular way, they know you're not a threat. They know that you're about status quo and maintaining what already is, which is oppression of us. There's an appropriate time to say certain things, and then there's an appropriate time to get to where you're going. L. Jean said, you're a truth teller. Miss Francis said, Vicki, you go, girl. Tell it like it T.I. is. Okay, talk black to me, somebody. Christian 999 says, Vicki, they scared of you. Huh? Let me hit the gavel. Let me tell you why. Because there's a spiritual power attached to my words. It ain't just because other folks ain't quote unquote saying what I say. These are the types of things that we teach about. But I'm going to say this really quick. This Sunday, we only got a couple days, October 27th, at the time that you're watching this. And of course, be sure to share the broadcast. October 27th, me and my dear brother, Rizza Islam. How many of y'all know Rizza Islam? I ain't even finna tell you why. If you know anything about Rizza Islam, you know that the White House came for him and considered him to be what they call the disinformation dozen. I ain't gonna tell you why. We gotta talk about that offline. He and I are teaming up this Sunday, October 27th, for a live webinar. We're going to tell you the plot and the plan that the powers that shouldn't be are planning right now and what you can do about it. Get your seat today at my website at VickiPlanet.com. I'm going to ask their ADNC team if they can put that link up later on, beloved. I didn't ask ahead of time, but if they don't, it doesn't matter. Go to VickiPlanet.com. Go to my website at VickiPlanet.com, VickiPlanet.com. Get your seat today so that we can talk about this offline. Talk black to me. I'm bringing that up now because this beautiful sister who has her own consulting business now, Miss Ashley Etienne, what did I say? An American political advisor, served as a communication director for Vice President Kamala Harris, was a former communications director and senior advisor to Nancy Pelosi, which means that she was the first woman they call it the first person of color, to hold that position of communications director, the first woman and the first person of color to hold that position. And she was a former senior advisor to Barack Obama. Why do you think Spirit compelled her to say that when she didn't plan on saying it? Tavis Smiley didn't even ask her to say it. And she took him by, if y'all see the whole broadcast they did, she took him by surprise. He stopped her, y'all, in the middle of her talking and said, wait a minute, Ashley, look. He said, Ashley, look, I didn't even expect, y'all should have seen it. It was like he was shaking in his boots for her, not for himself. He kept telling her, he said, I said what I said. I had no intention for you to come over here and leak this information. What compelled her to say that, y'all? And then she gonna turn around and give a compliment to Kamala. I ain't worried about that little compliment she gave to Kamala. What she did was she still threw out something for us too. She gave us insight and evidence and proof of something that most of us that know, our brother Phil Scott, when he's talking to you all about some of the politicking, Sister Demetria and others that's on here, we're giving you different aspects of what's really going on with this U.S. government. And why am I bringing this up to you? Because I want you all to know that we're the ones that's going to change our world. It's not going to be those of us that are part of legacy media and those of us that are a part of the establishment, government, and systems. It's going to be those of us that they consider to be the nobodies. Those that are in alternative media. That's those that are using that's building their own apps, like African Diaspora News Channel. How many of y'all gotten that app? Subscribe to the African Diaspora News app. Family, why am I talking about this? because this essentially gives us greater agency and control with less chances of our broadcast being blocked and shadow banned. This is an additional platform that we control on our own when you download it. It's important that you do that because we're talking about stuff that the Joy Reids are not going to talk about. The Roland Martins are not going to talk about. They consider us to be anathema. They consider us to be an enemy. Now, what they going to say about a White House insider, a White House political strategist, somebody that worked for Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, and Barack Obama? Baby, you can't tell us nothing. I can't wait to hear what y'all have to say about it below. I got to get ready to run. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, I can't wait to see you this Sunday, October 27th. If you're watching this later, you'll be able to purchase a replay. Go to my website, VickiPlanet.com. Me and my brother, Riz Islam, we're going to tell you all the secret stuff they don't want you to know. If you want to know why the powers that be have come after him and me and why the White House have particularly targeted him during the press conference, baby, you better come there. If the White House is coming after somebody, you better try to hear what we have to say offline. We respect these platforms. So I'm not even going to tell you the topic. Just go to my website at VickiPlanet.com, get your seat today, and more importantly, share this broadcast on African Diaspora News Channel. Again, check out all the rest of my other videos I've done recently. Be intentional about checking it because if they don't send out the notifications, family, that's on us to do this. Yes? Of course, be sure to support our brother Phil Scott. He does his lives on a regular basis. Check him out this evening. I believe he'll be live this evening. I want to say 8 p.m. Eastern. I believe 7 p.m. CST. See whatever time that is your time. Family, don't miss it. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. My name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. I can't